Our case was a 25 years male patient, known case of right-sided CA testis. He was diagnosed with retroperitoneal mass from which biopsy showed GCT, and after that he had undergone right-sided high inguinal orchidectomy and 4 cycles of BEP. Here we can see before and after the BEP chemotherapy, his size of the retroperitoneal mass and also the FDG avidity of the retroperitoneal mass has decreased. So we plan to do robotic RPLND. Here these are the ports where we see that there are two assistant ports, and on the right side Caesar port, left side bipolar port, and right side ProGrasp, and there is a camera port. So this is the lateral docking. After that, we incised the posterior peritoneum starting from the ileocecal junction. The incision over the posterior peritoneum was carried from the ileocecal junction, and it went towards the ligament of Treves, that is towards the root of mesentery. Here we see that the root of mesentery is incised, and after that, along this incision line, the posterior peritoneum was incised and deepened in a layer-wise fashion. Here we see that this incision line along the posterior peritoneum is deepened layer-wise fashion. Here we see the retroperitoneum is exposed, and we can see that this is the adherent retroperitoneal mass, and this duodenum was adherent. So the duodenum is being dissected away from the retroperitoneal mass, and after this, with the help of a suture, there are few tacking sutures are taken, and the mesentery is lifted to the parietes so that the retroperitoneum is exposed. After this, dissection over the IVC was commenced and dissection over the aorta. Here we see that with the help of the monopolar and the bipolar energy devices, the precaval nodal packet is being dissected. Here we see over the IVC, the precaval nodal packet is dissected. Here it is rolled up, and the nodal packet is coming together. Here, while dissecting the precaval nodal packet, we would see that there is a feeding vessel that was, this is the feeding vessel which was ligated between the hemlocks and was divided. After this, with meticulous Caesar dissection, the precaval nodal packet was separated from this thing. Soon after the precaval nodal packet was dissected, we began the inter-aortocaval nodal packet dissection between the IVC and the aorta. On the left side here we can see that the IVC, on the right side we see that the aorta is there, and this is the inter-aortocaval nodal packet dissection. Here we see with the help of this bipolar forceps, it is retracted, and with the help of the monopolar scissors, the inter-aortocaval nodal packet is taken out. Here further, another inter-aortocaval nodal packet is being dissected in between the IVC and the aorta. On the left side, we can see that the IVC, on the right side, this is the aorta, and this is the final inter-aortocaval nodal packet separated out. Here we see that the inter-aortocaval groove is completely cleared off, and after this, we started the right-sided hilar lymph node dissection. Here, with the help of the scissors, the right-sided hilar lymph node was separated and was kept outside. And after this, similarly, the left-sided hilar lymph node was also dissected and was kept separately for histopathological examination later. And here, on the left side of the aorta, we are doing the para-aortic nodal packet dissection. Here we see on the left side of the aorta, the para-aortic nodal packet is being dissected from all around it. After this, we started the right-sided common iliac node dissection, and it was also kept outside separately for histopathological examination. And then we began the paracaval nodal packet dissection starting from below upwards, and it was rolled up by the side of the IVC, and we see that this paracaval nodal packet along with its all fibrofatty tissue is being dissected all around it, and it was separated as a packet. Here we see that this is being dissected from the right-sided hilum, and here the entire paracaval nodal packet is dissected. Now, after the right gonadal vein division, this gonadal vein was dissected downwards and was taken as a specimen along with the right-sided spermatic cord at the deep inguinal vein. Here we see that the right gonadal vein dissection commenced from upwards, and this gonadal vein was completely dissected out. And here at the right-sided deep inguinal ring, the entire right-sided spermatic cord structure is separated from the deep inguinal ring, and it was sent for the histopathological examination. Now, after this, the hemostatic was checked over the major vessels, and it was found everywhere it was normal. Surgicel was placed, and mesenteric tenting was released, and the small bowel was repositioned, and abdominal drain was placed. This was the excised 9 specimens. Our total consult time was 2 hours with total operative time of 3 hours. He didn't require any blood transfusion. And histopathology, 13 notes came from 9 stations and all were negative. Thank you.